Hi everyone, welcome to another Fit Lizzie Live. Today I'm very excited to tell you about a study that proves and confirms that being thin or skinny does not equal being healthy, and that in fact thin and skinny people can also be at high risk for cardiovascular diseases and metabolic diseases. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Researchers from the School of Public Health at Tel Aviv University analyzed the data of 3,000 Israeli men and women to see their height, their weight, and their body fat percentages, to see if they were a reliable indicator of cardiovascular disease, metabolic disease, and other things like that. Which normally, high BMI or high body weight will flag someone as being obese or overweight and therefore being at higher risk for these diseases. And immediately they're put on treatments, they're put on regimens, they're told to lose weight, they're told to do all these things, right? So these scientists wanted to make sure that that's actually an accurate representation. A lot of us in the health and fitness industry, we've known for a long time that that's not the case, and that just weighing the right amount doesn't mean that you're healthy or that you don't have an excess of body fat, which could lead to diseases. So that's why I'm excited about this. Basically, the Professor Gettner, who is the one that led this study, talked a little bit about why they decided to do this. And I think we can think about it in the US as well, because it's very similar here. So what he says is that Israel is a leader in childhood obesity, and more than 60% of the country's adults are defined as overweight. This is in Israel, but I'm pretty sure, I haven't looked up the details for the US, I probably should have, but I didn't, but I'm pretty sure we're pretty close to it. And so this is all based on BMI. So these numbers, this 60% of the country being overweight is based on their BMI, okay? So just keep that in mind. And so they assume that just because of this, they're overweight. However, despite the intuitive connection between being heavier and having too much fat or being unhealthy, the actual measure for obesity is the percentage of body fat that you have in your body, not how much you weigh. It should be the ratio of fat on your body compared to the lean mass, your muscles, your bones, all of that. So the actual measures, the normal values, the healthy values, should be no more than 25% body fat for men and no more than 35% body fat for women. And so no matter how much you weigh, if your body fat is higher than these numbers, you're at risk for cardiovascular disease. You're at risk for metabolic diseases and other things, so that's what's important here. So higher fat content is what is defined as obesity, but now we've equated the word obesity and overweight and obese people with a size and weight situation, and that's not accurate, which is what this study works on. And so the reason why this is important is because the higher fat, like I was saying, is what is more life-threatening, right? It can cause heart disease, diabetes, fatty liver, kidney dysfunction, and more. And so the difference between these two things, they call it the paradox of obesity with normal weight. And so that means that higher than normal fat is found in normal weight individuals, normal weight. Let's put quotations on normal, because what's normal, right? So here's my parentheses. So now that you know what the study did, what they kind of were looking at, I'm going to tell you what they found. So it says about 1/3 of the participants, so remember it was 3,000 people, okay? And 1,000 of them were found to be within normal weight range, okay? So they're like, you look at them, you put them on the scale, and yeah, I'm a healthy weight. They're a healthy weight. They have no risks for their health. But once they check their body fat percentage, 38% of those 1,000 normal weight people were women who were actually obese, technically. Even though they had normal body weight, healthy body weight, their body fat percentage was very high, and so they were at risk. That's 38.5% of the women were actually higher in fat than they should be, so they were at high risk for for metabolic syndromes and things that they didn't even know because they look slim, they weigh the right amount, so nobody pays attention. That's a big concern. And out of the men, 26.5% of the men were healthy weight, but actually had higher body fat percentage than they should have. So this is just proving that you can't base anything on your BMI and your weight. You need to know what you're made of because that's what's important. So at the same time, just like those normal weight individuals actually turned out to have a lot of body fat, more than they should have for their health. They also found that 30% of men and 10% of the women who were identified as overweight or obese actually had normal, healthy body fat percentages. It makes sense that the men were higher in percentage because men carry more muscle. So it makes more sense that they would be heavier, but healthy, have healthy body fat percentages. And the women, we don't carry as much muscle as easily, but still 10% of these women that were told they were overweight, they told they were obese, they were in danger of their health, they actually weren't. Their body fat percentage was perfectly healthy, and they can be as heavy as they want because they're healthy. And that's what should matter. So here's an example. Let me give you an example that might be better. So think of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right? He's a big guy. He's a wrestler. He's still enormous. He's a monster, right? He's 6'5". He's 260 pounds. Just with that, right? Knowing that, The Rock's BMI is 42. The healthy range of BMI is between 18.5 and 25. He's way past that. If you were to just say, Mr. The Rock, you are obese. If I told you that The Rock is obese, what would you say? Of course not. Of course not. He's clearly made all out of muscle. So why would his BMI is too high? His weight is too high. On any index, on any scale, he would be seen as overweight, as obese, and in danger for his health. And they do that in the military here too. You have these guys pumping iron, getting all big, and then they have to weigh nothing because if not, oh, you're fat. And it's like, no, So that's one example there. So obviously, right, The Rock is not at risk for anything other than opening a can of whoop ass, right? So on the other hand of the spectrum, right, let's think of someone like Kirsten Dunst, the actress, American actress. We've all seen her, we all know her. She's 5'6", 5 feet 6 inches, and she's about 128 pounds. So she's not Hollywood skinny, but she's not overweight. She looks like a perfectly normal, perfectly healthy woman, right? But there's so much more to it. When you look at Kirsten, she has the right weight, she has the right BMI, the right everything, but she doesn't really have any muscle definition. And so if she's at this weight and looking that soft, to me or to someone just looking from outside, and we don't know for sure, right? Because we haven't put her on the analyzer. We don't actually know how much body fat percentage Kirsten Dunst has. However, even though her body weight looks normal and she looks perfectly fine, she doesn't really have a lot of muscle. So that means all of that weight, most of it could be visceral fat. And you just can't see it. She looks fine, she looks healthy, but she might be carrying more fat in her, a higher body fat percentage than she should. Her body fat might be above 35%. Again, we don't know because we haven't put her on the machine. But she says she exercises, and yet we can't see that definition, which means there's fat on top of that muscle, even though she is the right BMI and the right weight. Definitely nothing against her, not at all. She is amazing. She might not have, it's just an example, just to give you an example. I love her, she's great, got no problems with her, and we never body shame anyone here. So that's why we can't trust the scale. The scale doesn't tell us anything about what we're made of, about how we're built, about how strong we are. The scale only tells you the total weight of your body, and that doesn't mean anything. Just like I've told so many of my clients before, and I've probably said it on this before, how many times have you introduced yourself and said, oh, hi, I'm Liz. I weigh this many pounds. Never. Never. Nobody knows how much you weigh. Nobody cares how much you weigh. It doesn't matter how much you weigh or what your BMI is. What matters is how healthy you are. And what's going to keep you healthy is putting on muscle and keeping a healthy percentage of body fat. That's it. That's it. Don't obsess over the number on the scale. Don't obsess over the BMI number. Obsess over being healthy, and fit. So that's just my little my little takeaway from that. So yes, of course, the scientists did agree that the researchers concluded that body fat percentage is a more reliable indicator of an individual's general health compared to BMI. And what concerned them is what I was mentioning earlier, that all these normal weight people like Kirsten, for example, or any people you know that you think, oh man, I want to be like her, the size and everything. It's like, you don't know. They're going under the radar. So all of these people that think they're healthy because they're the right weight, nobody's watching out for them to tell them, hey, your body fat percentage is high. You should really take care of that, because that could be bad for your heart. That could be bad for your liver. That could be bad for, they don't even get a warning. Whereas anybody who weighs more than what they should at the doctor's office, oh, already they're judged as being fat and lazy and obese, and you have to take care of yourself and you have to do this. And it's like, hey, dude, is it really fat, or am I just heavy because I have a lot of muscle? So concerningly, these slim, normal, healthy looking people are at higher risk because they don't get the attention that people who are physically larger or heavier would get. So that's something that we need to be more focused on. And the scientists also recommended that all clinics are equipped with a body fat analyzer, with a body composition scale. Not only in Israel, but worldwide, because we need to change this. This needs to be different. This needs to change, and we need to focus on what's really important, and it's not our weight. So it's not about being skinny. It's about being lean and about being healthy. That's why at Fit Lizzie's, I have one of those analyzers, and that's what we use for all my clients. You walk in here thinking that you're weak, that you have too much fat, and when you show up here, you realize how much muscle you actually have. You realize how much of your weight is actually your strength. So I love it, and I recommend that if you can, if you're not here in El Paso, go somewhere and find yourself a body composition scale, see where you're really at, and work with that. Get strong, lose the fat, gain the muscle, feel amazing, and stave off all those health issues that could pop up. So this is the scale we use here. It's an in-body 270, right? It has electrodes. It runs an electric current through your body so that it can more accurately read what you're made of. And see, even their posters, step off the weight scale, step up to body composition. Why? Because we know that's all what it's about. Weight is made of too many things. Muscle needs to go up. Fat needs to go down, but because if this goes up and this goes down, the weight's not going to change, right? But you're going to be healthier and stronger and leaner. So that's why it doesn't matter. BMI doesn't matter, crossed out. And here, what we care about, body fat percentage. See, it's not new, it's just now it's more official. What's also important, how strong you are, how strong is each part of you, and then your progress. It's also important to know how many calories you burn at rest. Why? Because we need to make sure we don't eat less than that. If you're eating too little, you also gain fat. So get you one of these or get in here. Well, I hope this sheds some light on the facts, and I hope it changes your perspective on your weight and all of these things that don't really matter. And I hope that you can stop by Fit Lizzie's and get your body composition analyzed so you can really know what you're made of, and you can really start on a program that makes you the best, healthiest version that you can be. Stay tuned for another video, hopefully next week. Sorry, it's been a while. I'll try to be more consistent, and I'll talk to you all soon. Leave me a comment, tell me what else you want to talk about, and take care. Bye, guys.